Welcome in Braves Country to the Pennant Grace. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter. This is my co-host, Joshua Ush Sisk. What with the full name there?
Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
Very formal here.
It is.
We were informal last night,
Yeah.
coming from the Sisk Den, home of dogs and down home
Good cooking.
home time, Rocky. Home time. Down home time, Rocky.
Land the plane.
We wanted to show that we can be a little informal too. That was fun to do. Had a lot of friends join us, which was great.
Yeah.
Just to kind of check in as we're navigating through some schedule changes. But good to be here on a Thursday at 12:15.
Absolutely.
Feels like home, doesn't it?
We may do more of those little mid-game check-ins. You guys let us know. We try and model our schedule based on what you guys want and your availability. And we had a lot of fun doing it. We were only live for about 12 minutes or so, but we had a good time interacting with you guys in the chat. And we're still working on those scheduling changes. As of right now, it looks like Thursdays will still be normal for us, 12:15 here at the Next Round Studios. I will be in town on Thursdays typically, so make sure to lock us in for this time every Thursday, and we'll be TBD on our other shows throughout the week.
And I'll always be available. I'll never leave.
No.
I'll sleep here if I have to, Rocky. Just get me a pillow. I got no reason to go home, ever. This is my happy place. It's not going to change is fine sponsor of the show.
No.
And that's Roback.
That is Roback.
When you go to roback.com and you check out, enter code PG20, saves you 20% on your order. I'm looking through the glass at the resplendent Jim Dunaway in his Roback hoodie. You can't beat it. Best in the business. Can't beat that right there. PG20 is going to save you 20% on your order. Partner, I want to start off as we are on the verge of hopefully a sweep.
Yes.
Boy, isn't it a different deal playing Colorado at home than playing Colorado on the road?
We talk about that a lot, that you never really know what's going to happen when you are in the Rockies territory there in Colorado, and it feels a lot better to have them in Truist Park, that's for sure.
Yeah, throw the record away.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, really, don't you feel that way no matter what the Rockies' record is? When you're going to play them,
There's a difference.
It's a different thing at Coors Field. So as we're in the midst of that, I want to just start off with where we're at. And we're going to do this a little different. I mean, I'm not even looking at games back anymore. I'm looking at games up. So the Braves are 76-63, which means they're half a game up on the New York Mets.
We'll take it.
6-4 in their last 10. Listen to this. Mets are 8-2 in their last 10. They have won 7 straight games.
Yeah, the Phillies are also on a bit of a heater right now. So the Braves haven't been able to make up any ground because the Braves have lost their last 4.
Yeah, so the Braves...
Well, no, last 3.
Well, they've won the last 2,
but
it lost 2
yes.
before that. 1-1, lost 1.
Right.
6-4 in their last 10. So, yeah, that's what's kind of where we're at this point. Looking at, okay, the Phillies, I think, are looking at battling the Dodgers and the Brewers for that 1 seed in the National League. And for the Braves, it's going to be a dogfight for the wild card.
Yeah, there's 3 wild card spots, and the Braves are vying for that last one right now. So we say it a lot. Now is the time to keep your eye on the Mets specifically.
Yeah.
See what other teams are doing, as we are now in September, and this next 3 or so weeks are going to fly with the addition of college football now in the mix, the NFL, and baseball. It's a sweet time of year.
It's a lot going on. So we're going to break down this first 2 games of the Rockies series, look at Game 3, which happens tonight. But first, just to share a few highlights on the Phillies. We talked about this last night, some things that stood out. Now, obviously, Braves lose 3 of 4 to the Phillies.
Yeah.
The Phillies looked really good. Their starting pitching, I thought, was excellent. But as I told you last night, there were some things that stood out to me as far as some positives. Number 1, both Matt Olson and Orlando Arcia had multi-home run games.
I think Matt Olson was a story of that series, was it seems like he's coming alive at the right time. Now, we do agree that the Braves should have taken 3 or 4 of those games.
Right.
And that would have been very helpful, especially with the success the Phillies and Mets are having right now. But bright spot, we'd like to point them out, Matt Olson is getting comfortable again. You
had also had a great Ronaldo Lopez start in that series. And honestly, by and large, I thought Braves pitching did a good job. We all know how good that Philadelphia lineup is.
Yeah.
They never scored more than 5 runs in a game.
Yeah, and against the Phillies, with their explosive offense right now, that is a win that I'll take any day of the week.
What more can you ask of your team playing Philadelphia than that. I mean, that's
You
pretty
really
doggone
can't.
good,
You
right?
really can't. And the pitching staff has been so solid pretty much all season that doesn't surprise me. Again, it's that offense that has to produce when it matters. You cannot leave bases loaded. You can't leave first and second on. You have to bring those runs in.
Agreed. That was an epidemic.
It was
in
throughout that whole
series.
series.
And I would feel comfortable saying what hurt them more than anything would be that
Yeah.
runners in scoring position.
I agree.
So we, obviously we're complete homers. Obviously, we've talked about it before. We are optimists. Some may even say
Yes.
delusional optimists. But one thing I honestly try to do is avoid being just super rah-rah and over the top. And, we do look at things the way they are, credit a team when they're
Yeah.
good, another player when they're good, things like that. So this is going to be a little rah-rah here, but I think it's absolutely warranted. A lot of teams would have rolled over and played dead at this point. I really do believe that. And it starts with that positive culture that you have in the clubhouse. The fact that the Braves didn't quit is the greatest strength of this team.
I agree. We have not talked about that enough. We've mentioned it here and there that it's insane that the Braves are still in the conversation after the season, the injuries, and everything else in between they've had to deal with. But we are to September, and the Braves are still in the conversation.
Right.
Does not make sense, but here they are.
So when you look at the season, big names, no bigger names on that team than Ronald Acuna Jr. and Spencer Strider. But then also Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, A.J. Minter, Sean Murphy missed significant time. Michael Harris II missed significant time. And so I'm real proud of Brian Snitker and the coaching staff and the guys of the team, because the guys that take the field tonight at Truist Field, that's the team. Okay, so it doesn't look what we thought it was going to look, but that's the team. And so message to Braves country, and I don't think I have to tell them to do this because they're doing it, is just to continue to support that team. And I still feel good about them because the pitching is so good. Buster Olney was on Next Round
He
today.
was. I loved what he had to say. Go check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, a really good segment for anybody that's interested in baseball. But talking about the Braves, he said the fifth starter's Charlie Morton.
Yes.
A lot of teams would love to have Charlie Morton as their second. And he's the Braves' fifth option. And this is without Spencer Strider. So that alone says a lot right there. The pitching is vital to the success of the team, both starting pitching and that bullpen.
100%. And Buster doubled down on what he had said previously, that if the Braves make it into the playoffs, they are going to be a team that no one wants to face.
Agreed.
Because of their pitching.
Now, one thing the Braves won't be doing when you look at, okay, they're going to have to kind of rest some guys and get ready for the postseason. You can't do that. You're in a dogfight to get in. And so it's going to take foot on the gas, everything you got just to make it into the playoffs.
And we've talked about this ad nauseum. The good thing is, in that wild card spot, there's no break. I think the worst thing for the Braves right now would be to have that week or so off.
We know.
From last season.
Yeah, we know how that can go the wrong way. Okay, the Colorado Rockies. Game one was a 3-0 victory, and Chris Sale became he garnered his 8th overall 200 strikeout season.
Incredible.
Not a lot of people can say that. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 earned runs with 9 strikeouts. That is absolutely classic Chris Sale stat line for this season. He's been just absolutely fantastic. Gio Urshela was 2 for 3 with a double as well. Baby-faced, as I made the observation last night. Baby-faced Gio Urshela. So he had a great catch. Another gem from Chris Sale there in game one.
Yeah. And Chris Sale, if we need reminding, no one expected this from him this season. It was one of those things that it was kind of like you're holding your breath with him because you don't know how healthy he's going to be if he can maintain this. And he has gone above and beyond in a Braves uniform, and it has been so much fun to watch him.
Yeah. I love having him as that lock game one, starter.
Confident, just solid.
Game two was a 5-2 victory. Aforementioned Charlie Morton went 5 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs, but 8 strikeouts, and the bullpen came in. No more runs given up. Jared Kelenic had a home run. Matt Olson with a double. Boy, Jared Kelenic needed that home run. That was great to see.
Needed it. It was almost a month since he hit a home run, I want to say.
Yeah.
About a month.
Yeah.
And he got so hot. When was that? Back in May? May, early June.
Yeah, so a slower start. I think it was June where he was in, and we're going to talk about leadoff here in a minute. So he really caught in the leadoff spot, really caught fire a little bit, and unfortunately that didn't last. It's been a streaky season for him. Really good to see that. We'll see, is that some kind of one-off, or does this lead to something for him?
Yeah. So he entered the game 1 for 16 in his last 10 games and hadn't homered in nearly a month.
That's not good.
3-run shot to make it 4-0, and that was all in the first inning too.
Tonight, Game 3, Austin Gomber. That's Gomber with a B, not Gomer, as in pile, as in Wally's filling station, e.g. Austin Gomber brings his .410 record and 4.69 ERA. To take on Ronaldo Lopez, coming off that great start against Philadelphia. He's 8-4 with a 2.00 ERA. Cannot say it was we praise Chris Sale. Got to also praise Ronaldo Lopez. And he's come back. Sale, thankfully, has been healthy all season. One of the few guys on the roster. Ronaldo Lopez had an injury and came back and really didn't miss a beat.
And that's such a good sign and thing if you're a Braves fan, to see someone go on the IL and come back almost better than prior, I would say. He's really been consistent in that role. It's also Harry Potter night at Truist Park.
They're giving away wizards.
Yes. And
is that the giveaway? What's the giveaway?
I don't know. Let me see. But it is
little glasses.
Maybe. I'm really sad.
Wands.
Harry Potter night, Truist Park. I love Harry Potter. If you guys did not know that, big fan. So they have a jersey you can get.
A Harry Potter Braves jersey.
It's light blue.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what the giveaway is, but if you guys go to the Braves game tonight, please let us know. And if there is a giveaway that's Harry Potter, please pick up an extra for the Pennant Grace.
Let's see that. Mentioned before about leadoff spot. Great article on Braves.com from Mark Bowman, Braves beat writer, about Michael Harris II settled back into that leadoff spot and obviously playing well in that. We're so used to Ronald Acuna batting leadoff. So this season we saw Harris, we saw Kelnick, we saw Whit Merrifield, and now we have Harris back in. He's done very well lately in that spot, and I do feel most confident. To me, he is what you look for in a leadoff hitter. For
sure. And he said in postgame last night, he said, I just try and go out, be myself.
Yeah.
Don't think too much and have fun while doing it.
That spot plays to his strengths,
yes, I think so too. He's very loose right now. And he reminds me of Acuna in the sense that he loves the game of baseball.
Yeah.
He loves being in a Braves uniform, and you can tell. And I think him coming back was such a boost to the clubhouse that may, contribute to the success that the Braves have had. But he brings that personality. I think him in that leadoff, like you said, it fits his characteristics perfectly.
And you match it with his defense, a consistently hitting Michael Harris II. A Michael Harris II that is getting on base regularly is an elite all-star level player when you match that with his defense. Whit Merrifield, by the way, day-to-day. So we talked last night about that. Takes one to the head. Not too pleased about that.
No.
Nor should he. And that kind of opened up some discussion about, hey, when guys go for the head like that, what should the repercussions be?
What is your opinion on that?
It's hard for me to sit here and not agree with that.
Yeah.
Because, I don't want a 90-mile-an-hour whiz to my head. And you can really cause some damage. There's no amount of, protection that you can have there that can shield you from the effects of that, can lessen it, but you can still really get it. As serious as it comes there.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, he's on the players that committee, and so he's a veteran guy, definitely making his voice heard in that. Good news, do not expect, as we mentioned last night, do not expect him to spend any time on the IL. But I think it's something that needs to be looked at.
Right.
And, this is a different era of baseball. The pitchers aren't hitting anymore in the National League.
No, they're throwing harder than ever, too.
And they're throwing harder than ever. And, we talked about friend of the show, Ben Joyce, that don't expect that velocity to be going down.
Right.
I think it's just going to continue to go up.
Exactly. And Buster was talking about how important the command is of pitchers, and friend of the show, Ben Joyce, has that command.
Yeah, so the command, and then obviously the major concern that we have with guys in their shoulders.
Exactly.
As this goes on. So some things for baseball to look at for sure. Raciel Iglesias, was named the top reliever for the month of August, Major League Baseball. Again, I just somehow doesn't probably get the credit he deserves.
No.
Another one last night. I mean, the guy's just been absolutely fantastic. Raciel Iglesias, I said a couple episodes ago, is an elite closer.
He is, and it's something that the Braves have needed for a few seasons. A guy that they can count on, and that's been him for the Braves. And it's just interesting to see how the Braves pitching is so good. But I think that what's overshadowed them all season is the lack of offensive production, and their record isn't reflecting how good their pitching is. I mean, imagine this starting rotation on any other club right now.
Yeah.
It'd be insane.
And I honestly think that prior to Iglesias, I think Atlanta struggled in that spot where they would have really good pitchers in that spot that most of us probably saw as better suited as 8th or 7th inning guys.
For sure.
That they put in the 9th inning spot. And Iglesias, to me, is, dare I say, the best Braves closer since Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, I can't think of someone else that's fitting that bill right now.
I mean, he's a closer.
Yes, that is his line.
Right. September is we're just now getting into September, EG, and there's a lot ahead. And so, as you know, a half a game lead is as slim as they come. So looking at what's ahead for the Braves after tonight, hopefully getting the victory and getting the sweep, that would be huge. So staying at home, Blue Jays for 3. And then you have that makeup game, the Reds, 1 game.
Yeah, 1 game.
That's there at home as well. Then you go to the Nats for 2 games.
Mm-hmm. That's the 10th and 11th. So
off day after that.
Then a big one.
And then you got the Dodgers at home, a 4-game series with L.A. Now, the Braves, like we talked about, are going to be playing for their playoff lives at this point. And LA's not. I mean, there's no way they miss the playoffs. Now, how much of a factor that is, I don't know, especially at that point in the month. I don't know. I mean, how diminished is even a Dodgers team that's resting guys? I mean, they're still the Dodgers. They're still loaded.
That's a great point. And then after, it's the Reds.
Yeah, so then you go to Cincinnati for a traditional 3-game series, to Miami to play the Marlins for 3, another off day.
Another big one.
After that, and then you've got I'm batting down the hatches. This is what it's all about. Starting on September 24th, 3-game series at Truist. You finish the game, the month at Truist Park with 3 against your rival Mets, and then 3 against the Kansas City Royals immediately after. Boy, that Mets series. There's no I have a hard – now, a lot can happen between now and the 24th, but I have a hard time believing that's not going to be massive. The Mets aren't going away. They just don't see how that's going to happen at this point.
No, I agree. And I feel like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks that, we're getting to crunch time. Now it's here. Between now and the 24th, the Braves have got to gain as much ground as possible on the Mets, because everything could change in that 3-game series, the 24th through the 26th.
Yeah, and I don't think that you would call what I just gave as the Braves September as an easy schedule by any means. That's a tough schedule, but the Mets schedule is a little tougher.
It is. I think the Braves at Marlins should be a easier series. I say should because what was the Braves? They dropped 2 to the Marlins, I want to say.
Yeah. Braves also lost the season series to the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, that's just
want to throw that out there.
The Reds, nothing to turn your nose up at. The Dodgers. Now, there are the Nationals, but again, 2-game series. The Braves haven't been awesome against them either, and that is in D.C. So it's going to be interesting. And then you have that additional makeup game with the Reds on Monday. And
the Mets, I know, have to play the Phillies twice.
That's good.
In September.
That's good.
So somebody has to lose those games, right? So
it's going to be an interesting September, I would say. And I don't think that any of us have really come to terms with the fact that I feel like we're very confident that we're going to see the Braves in the playoffs, I would say, right?
Yeah. If you have to say, would you predict the Braves make it in? I think the Braves make it in. But or is it like Braves are in? No, not by any means.
Not by any means. But I think that it's interesting to have the discussion that we're realists too on here. There is a chance that the Braves don't make that wild card spot.
You look at the American League as well. This year's playoffs is going to be so much fun, and I have a really hard time predicting what's going to happen.
Right, and that makes for good baseball for sure. And we are going to spend time over the next few weeks once we hit that point in the season where we know teams, we know matchups. We're going to do a longer form show. We're going to have guests rotating in and out and really break down what this postseason could look like. Obviously, we're hoping that our team is there, but if they're not, we'll still plan on doing that.
We will. There's a lot of teams in the mix in both the American and the National League. It's going to make for some matchups that are going to be really tough to call. Buster alluded to this today as well. There's so many good teams. There's not so-and-so is going to march into the World Series. No one is saying that about anyone at this point.
No. And again, that makes for good baseball. And I think that if you are a Braves fan, which we're assuming you are, if you're watching this show, the Braves could be really dangerous if they reach that point.
That's where you want elite starting pitching. And when you go into a 3-game series, the Atlanta Braves have that.
Has there been an update on Ozzy Albies lately about what his expected window is?
I know they don't have they don't have him as far as a rehab assignment. That has not been scheduled yet. And so that was early part of this week where they said, he's doing more stuff, but we don't have anything set definite on that. So I think that injury is going to be on the, take that full amount of what the anticipated time was.
So apparently Ozzy Albies will begin doing some fielding yesterday. Okay. Hasn't been cleared to take batting practice, but he's been swinging the bat some in the cage.
Right.
Sunday will be 6-week mark. He said still going on initial 6 to 8 week prognosis, but he'll need a rehab assignment before return.
Right.
So that's a quick update on that. Can't believe it's been 6 weeks since then.
Yeah, and Whit Merrifield has played really well in that role. He's really filled in the slot. Again, credit to him, credit to Ramon Laureano, credit to Gio Urshela, and they've really stepped up and kept the Braves in the hunt. And so, Braves fans should really appreciate what they've done, stability they brought to the team.
It's going to be interesting to see what will happen to Whit Merrifield.
Yeah.
Upon Ozzy's return.
One last thing, going to the Phillies series, which obviously the Braves lose 3 or 4, and then now up 2-0 on the Rockies. These have not been. There was one game in that Phillies series where the Braves scored a lot of runs.
Yeah.
Other than that, these have been more low-scoring games.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what you're going to be seeing, win or lose, from Atlanta by and large throughout the rest of the season.
It's a good observation. We haven't really seen that explosiveness from the offense since last season. There's been a few one-offs here and there, and like you mentioned, that one Phillies game, but the Braves need to keep it low scoring.
Yeah, the Braves still hit home runs. There's no question about that. You're just not seeing, well, to your point about the Phillies series and runners in scoring position, you're just not seeing a lot of that.
It's frustrating to watch because it seems like the Braves are so close, and yet they cannot string something together to bring the runners home. They can get them on base. Walks have been incredible. I feel like the team's done a great job of earning those and getting there, but they cannot bring them home.
Yeah, Atlanta struck early last night, bringing in those runs, really punished that young pitcher for Colorado. And then, pretty much the game kind of settled in, and that was kind of it. So I do think that's what you'll see as far as a scoring perspective moving forward. So it's fun. It's fun to be able, again, to be talking meaningful baseball in September. That's what you want for your team, whatever the case may be. A lot else, like you mentioned, going on in the sports world. And so with college football ramping up, getting some really good games, and now obviously the NFL kicking off tonight. So for a lot of people, baseball will fall back for them, not for us.
No.
But it will for some.
But not for all.
So
we'll
still be here. Be following us on social media at the Pennant Grace. We're going to keep you informed of schedule moving forward. And we do feel good about this Thursday staying a lock, but we'll definitely keep you posted on where we go and give you heads up on when we're going to be going live as well. So make sure you're following us at the Pennant Grace on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes, we would love to have you over there. We love interacting with you guys when we can. But look for those mid-game check-ins. I think that might be something that we kind of hold on to throughout the month of September going into October, because we had a lot of fun last night with it, and we enjoyed getting to see you guys. It also seems like a lot of you are a little more available at that time of the evening, which makes sense. So, again, if you're following us at the Pennant Grace, you'll get those live notifications. Put the bell on so you don't miss anything. But where do they need to go to be in style this postseason for the Braves in the month of September?
.com. Roback.com, and you'll be in Tuscaloosa Saturday. I'll be in Auburn Saturday. I'm going to be on Roback alert. I want you to do the same thing. Let's be watching for Roback. See someone, make sure that we pass on the cheat code for them.
Yeah.
PG20, saving you 20% off your entire order. Tom, thank you for the kind note. We love you too. Love all of our loyal viewers.
And we will see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching Braves Country.